Good afternoon. This is Sarah from the Mount Airy branch of the Carroll County Public Library. Thanks for joining me for Digital Collections Bootcamp. Today we will be talking about consumer reports. The Consumer Reports database is a recent addition to the digital collections of CCPL. To find the database, we'll hover over Collections on our main web page and scroll down to Online Research Databases. Once we click that, we'll be presented with a list of the different online research databases we have available, listed and grouped by category. If we scroll down to the category of magazines and newspapers, we'll see the second option here is Consumer Reports. So to enter Consumer Reports, we'll click that link and then we'll be able to get started. Consumer Reports is well known for its product reviews. In fact, it's probably one of the most popular reasons why people are looking for information from Consumer Reports. There's two different ways to access product reviews from the database. The first is going to be from the top title bar, menu bar up here. If you hover over product reviews, you'll see that there's all these different categories that you can browse once you're in product reviews. There's top products, appliances, all kinds of things. Today, since it's getting to be summertime, I thought I'd take a look and see what some of the reviews and ratings are for sun care, particularly for sunscreen. So if I go to the health category and then I click sunscreens, that will take me to an overview page about the product review. I can click to get recommended sunscreens, so that will take me to the list of their recommendations. I can get ratings for the sunscreens that were tested by Consumer Reports, and also there's access to the buying guide. So for instance, if I wanted to check out the buying guide, I would just click here, read more, and then there's information about how the test was done for the sunscreens and what they discovered. And from many places within this buying guide, and once you're within the product reviews, you can see more information about the ratings and everything, the overall scores. If you look here, here I am on the ratings, I can categorize the different kinds of sunscreens. So some people really like the spray sunscreens, especially with kids. Sometimes that's the easiest to put on. So I can narrow my results. So if I click something to narrow my results by, just make sure you click apply and it'll reload the list of ratings so you can get some information. And again, this is a really great way to compare. Also, what you can do is if you click the compare button, if you want to be able to compare a few things. For instance, if I want to compare the top 3 items here on this ratings list, I'll click the little plus sign here, and that allows me to then click the compare up here at the top. If I click view compare, then I can see the 3 products side by side. I can see how they were rated by Consumer Reports, and if I click show differences, it doesn't look like these have any right now. In terms of water resistance, it looks like they all have 80 minutes, but this is a way you can look at items from a side-by-side view for the products that you're looking to get some information on. If I wanted to print that from here, I could click print, and then I could print this layout of the different ratings that I have. Again, overview is where we started. We got to ratings and reliability just a little bit of a different way through the buying guide, but this is how it would look. Recommended, this will see the recommended sunscreens that they have listed, and you can print this out. If you want information about the test, you can click that as well, and then again here is the buying guide. So that's one way to get to the product reviews for specific items that you're looking for, and that was from the top menu bar here. And as you can see, there's just all kinds of information. If you're not sure exactly where they might have classified or categorized the item you're looking for, if you're thinking, oh, this is going to be in health, but maybe they've put it somewhere else, if you go to all products A through Z, this is nice because now you can actually search for a specific product. So if I wasn't sure where sunscreens would be, I could start to type in the name sun, and you'll see I'll get sunscreens there. If I clear this, I can also scroll down and find all the different items or products that they've reviewed. So that's a really great way to, if you're not quite sure where they might have categorized it, get to a product you're interested in the information about. But if we go back here home, I mentioned there were 2 ways to get to product reviews. The other way is from this main page. If you scroll down a little bit, you'll see that there's a list of icons. So sometimes, especially if there are items that are popular right now or things that I think are topical that people are going to be really interested in at this point in time, it might be highlighted here in the products tested in our lab, and you'll see there's different icons by which you can click. So let's say, for instance, I was also interested in their information about freezers. I could click freezers here, and it brings me to that same product reviews information like we saw with sunscreens. So I'm going to have overview information. I'm going to have the ratings for the different freezers that they reviewed. And again, I can use the different menus here at the top to narrow it down. I can click on what they've recommended and the buying guide. So those are 2 ways to get to the product reviews of Consumer Reports, and that's usually the first thing people are really interested in. You can also just click, one more way. I just realized is you can always just click here and click search, and then you'll get a result for that sunscreens page as well. Also, along the top menu bar here in Consumer Reports, they've also highlighted news and issues that matter. So we're going to take a quick look at those 2 main menu bar topics, so you can get a feel for how you can use those sections in your research about products or whatever information you're looking up. So news, actually, if I click on that, that's actually just going to be the latest news that they think will be interested to people that has to do with certain products, different tests, that they've done for Consumer Reports, any new topics that they think might benefit consumers to be aware of. So for instance, Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace still list inclined sleepers. And I think that, there have been some recent recalls of that information, so they just want to make people aware. Brand by brand guide to the best car deals, why you need more vitamin K. So let's say I want to read about that. I can click that article, and here is some news that I can use here from Consumer Reports. And if you're interested, you can share that information out on Facebook, you can tweet it, you can pin it to a board in Pinterest, you can email it, or you can print it. So that's the news section here from Consumer Reports. And additionally, issues that matter, they've highlighted some bigger issues that they think people might be interested in, where they've compiled different sets of information together. And 2 that I wanted to show you really quickly are data privacy and food safety. So for instance, under issues that matter, if I click data privacy, there's some really interesting information here about when you shop, what to look out for to make sure your data is secure, some guidelines for how you should set passwords. There's even information about peer-to-peer payment apps and how they've rated these payment apps. And if you hover here, you can see the scores they've given these different services. Here's different news items related to data privacy. So there's a lot of information here that you can really dig into and get some well-informed information about how to keep your data secure. And another issue that matters, just so you can see sort of how these issues are laid out, is food safety. I always thought this is a really interesting tool because it helps you know when you're looking for items, what to look for. So this food label decoder is really pretty cool. So I say when I am shopping for, let's say, grains and cereal, what label tells me that the crops were grown with no harmful synthetic pesticides? There's 2 prompts here. Let's say I pick that. Then I know that this USDA organic label is what I should be looking for on my grains and cereals products to be sure that they were grown with no synthetic pesticides. What's in your food? There's a free weekly food newsletter you can sign up for. And then here's news related to food safety. So it talks about, it looks like there was a recent recall of ground beef that was sold, expiration dates. So just all kinds of great information. And down here, there's a neat section, antibiotics and meat, how does your favorite fast food chain score? So you can take a look at someplace you like to eat. Let's see, I like Buffalo Wild Wings. So, oops, okay, I might have to change that. Looks like they get an F. So you can see the full, click in here and see the full scorecard here, and you'll get all kinds of information about fast or restaurant chains and what they use in terms of antibiotics and the beef that they provide. So that's issues that matter. There's also, as you can see, coronavirus. Car safety and efficiency is another section that's pretty cool. And then what the fee is, hidden fees. So you can learn how to avoid fees, best low-cost cell phone plan. So there's really just so much information here for consumers. I'm going to click to go home here really quick. But this issues that matter are specific issues that they think that are very important to people today. In addition to the product reviews and the news and issues that matter that we've already gone over, there are some other tools available on the Consumer Reports site that are really interesting. The first of which is right up here at the top, Best Time to Buy. If I click that link, you can find out based on the month that you're looking in what the best types of products are to buy for that month. Usually maybe that's when you'll see the deals on those items, when you'll have the most variety and availability. So you'll see for June, which is when I'm doing this program, blenders comes up, cordless drills, steam irons. So if I wanted to dig deeper into the information on steam irons, which it says is best to buy in June, July, August, and November, I'll go ahead and click there. At first glance, I will get an overview of the recommended steam irons, and then if I click See All Steam Irons, it'll allow me to drill further into the product review section for that product. So I can click on rating and reliability, and I would work through that product review section much like we did earlier when we talked about product reviews. So that's a really neat way to sort of see what time is the best time of year to buy certain products. Also very helpful is the car recall tracker. If I click that, I can see if there are recalls available for my car or a car based on the make, model, and year of that car. This is particularly useful when you think about buying a used car. It might be a good way to see if there's any issues that might be apparent. You can ask if things have been fixed also if you know that there was a recall. And then you can see someone else who had used this before had entered in these different kinds of cars, and if I just pick one, I can see just the recalls associated with that one car. And then if I need to get more information, so let's say I want to learn more about the airbags, I can click on there and it'll get a little bit more detail, the certain models of the car and where to go for more information. So if I go back to list of recalls, it'll take me right back there. Then further on down here on the right hand side are some other site tools and features that are useful. We have already talked about the best time to buy guide. There's a build and buy car buying. The Consumer Reports Guide to Privacy is nice. If you click here, it's going to be somewhat similar of the data privacy information that we looked at in the issues that matter. However, it is going to be a little different. Looks like it's being a little uncooperative. Here we go, Guide to Digital Security and Privacy. So there's going to be some news, there's some reviews and ratings for different digital security solutions, some tips to protect yourself, even more information on privacy, how-to videos. So this is a really great guide to keep in mind, particularly if you're newer to the realm of digital data security, or if you just want to get some more information and make sure when you are shopping online that you've got yourself protected as best as you can. Also is the guide to food labels, and this is really pretty neat because nowadays we see so many labels on boxes and bags and everything that we purchase. By clicking on these different seals, you can get more information about what that seal actually means, and in order to get that seal, what the companies would have done in order to be able to put that seal on their product. And that's, a really useful wealth of information. And you can get information as well as everything else that they rate, information about how they rate these food seals. So that's a really great resource as well. And also you'll see on site tools and features, there's a link to the A to Z product guide. So that's really helpful. There's also, you can get to Consumer Reports pages on Facebook, you can connect with them on Twitter, sign up for free newsletters. So here's even more ways to connect with Consumer Reports. Not least in our presentation today that we're going to review is information about how to get to Consumer Reports magazine, how to get to those issues from the site. So you'll see I've scrolled down, and in the bottom here on the right, there's information inside the July 2020 issue, and you can link right to specific articles in the issue, or if I click the picture, it will take me right to this month's or the current issue of Consumer Reports. And then from within here, you can read the different articles. So one thing we were talking about earlier was sunscreen. So if I want to read sun safety tips for the entire family, I'm going to go ahead and click there, and I can review this information as it is in this issue of the magazine. So that's one way that you can stay in touch with what's going on in Consumer Reports magazine. And I know right now that's one thing that people like to come in and browse, and although we're unable to come in and browse in the library right now, this is a great way to access those magazines that you might have come in and checked out the binder and or looked at the binder, I should say, and reviewed while you were here. So this is a way to see the recent issue. You can also see an archive of the past Consumer Reports magazines. It goes back to 2012. So sometimes people will come in and they'll say, I heard that the October 2013 magazine had an article on blank. So now what we can do is, if I go to 2013, and it'll take just a second to pull up, I can actually click the October issue, and then we can see the different articles in the October issue and take a look at that archive. So I guess here maybe that was the the energy saving light bulbs that they were looking at. So then I can see that information from the magazine. So fear not, if you are somebody who really enjoys just looking through the Consumer Reports magazine, and that was something that you were interested in delving into when you get on the digital database, you just scroll all the way down here to the bottom, and then you can get the current issue as well as the archives like we just discussed.